Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Joe here of SportsGrid. It's time for Puck It with Joe. Now, we've got a light slate today. Only 3 games on deck, but plenty of opportunities to make some money. And now people were asking me if I could start going over how we did the day before at the start of the show on a huge slate. We're not going to go over it, but we can quickly go over where we made money yesterday, where we lost money. So don't mind me. We had so many bets yesterday. They're all written down. I cannot remember the odds and the kind of stats that we were able to get off the top of my head. So the Buffalo Sabres, we did lose on the Seattle Kraken. Congratulations to everyone who rode with them to get the win. So the Sabres on the money line was a loss. The LA Kings in the first period on that puck line, also a loss at plus 168. The Vancouver Canucks team total cashed nicely over 3.5. We got that at plus 130. We also got the over 6.5 in that game. We cleaned up on the player props. Everyone but Bo Horvat hit for our player props, so we had him for the anytime goal. We got Elias Pettersson for that anytime goal at plus 175. Quinn Hughes for the anytime goal at plus 460. Now, the Nashville Predators first period puck line didn't come in. That was at plus 124. We did get the over 1.5 in the first period in that one. Forsberg for his shots on goal, 5+ shots on goal, came in cashing nicely at plus 162. If you took it at that 4+ at minus 140, I wouldn't have blamed you in that one. Ryan O'Reilly, 3+ shots on goal, came in at plus 130. We didn't get the 4+. We were gambling on that at plus 320. The Florida Panthers and the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis didn't go over their team total of 2.5, only able to score 1. The Florida Panthers didn't do enough for us to push it over that 6.5. We hit 6. We did get the money on Sam Reinhart for 3+ shots on goal. That was at minus 118, and the anytime goal at plus 140. The Columbus Blue Jackets were not able to cover that puck line of 1.5, but the Jets did enough to keep us under the 6.5. Now, Edmonton versus Chicago, that goal came in right after that 5-minute mark. We did get both teams to score in the first period at plus 170. That game actually went under that total, which is interesting. The Boston Bruins first period puck line, this game we really cleaned up on. This one in the Vancouver game were the huge winners there. The puck line first period for the Boston Bruins, we got up plus 168. The Coyotes on the money line at plus 120. If you jumped on them live, like I suggested, after Boston got that first goal, you would have got closer to 200 there. Clayton Keller for 2+ points came in nicely for us at plus 230. The anytime goal as well at plus 200. We also got Pasternak for the anytime goal at minus 105. The Sens versus Calgary. First period did not stay under 1.5. That was a high-scoring game. Sens didn't win. Calgary was able to pull it off. But you guys, let's jump into these games. Thank you so much for each and every one of you for being here today. I appreciate you guys so very much. Let's get this money today. 3 games on the slate. I'm feeling really confident about these games. So let's do this today. The Montreal Canadiens will start off with versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Let me just get the current odds up here from FanDuel. We have the Montreal Canadiens at plus 158, minus 192 for the Philadelphia Flyers, total 6.5. 6.5 juice to the under at minus 120, minus 102 to the over. Right away, I do lean to the under in this one, but more so looking at the Philadelphia Flyers team total under that number. We don't have Sam Montague in net here for the Montreal Canadiens, but we do have Pomois, and his number is coming in at 3.03 goals against average, save percentage of 0.898. I do have faith in him versus the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers only averaging that 2.85 goals per game and 33.2 shots on goal. With how many shots the Montreal Canadiens are allowing on their goaltender, I do expect a lot of shots to come out of the Flyers, but I don't think a lot are going to go in this matchup. I just don't trust the Flyers team offensively. I'm going to take their team total under 3.5. It's coming in at minus 118, so we're laying a little bit of juice there. We look at the last 10 matchups versus Montreal. These teams actually trend to the under. They've only gone over and hit 4 goals or more in one of the last 10 matchups. So the under 3.5 at minus 118, probably my favorite bet of the night here. I really do think Montreal has the opportunity of getting this win. I love them coming in here at plus 1. What is it now? Plus 158. That has moved. I bet them earlier at plus 146. They're now plus 158 on that money line. Montreal's playing with momentum, and you look at how strongly they played in that last game versus the Rangers, able to get a 4-3 shootout win over the New York Rangers. I like their ability to bring that momentum into this game and be able to get the win. So they covered the puck line last 7 meetings versus the Philadelphia Flyers. If you want to take a safer bet, taking them +1.5 on that puck line is -150. I do think this is a 1-goal game. So I do think that is a nice bet. I just don't like laying that much juice, you guys. You know, I'm looking for that positive money when I can find it. It is a bit of a gamble here because I do see this being a 3-2 game either way. But I think Montreal has the momentum and the edge in this one. You could look at Montreal's team total. If you believe they're going to get 3 goals in this one, their team total over 2.5 is coming in at -122. Now, they've gone over this number in 6 of their last 10 meetings versus the Philadelphia Flyers. So they're trending to getting those 3 goals in these games. Now, who's going to get these goals? I love what we've been seeing out of Shane Monahan. His anytime goals coming in at +280. I do think, though, looking at Cole Caulfield and how he's played, especially versus the Flyers, really strong way to go. You're looking at him for the anytime goal, not as much value, but you're still getting +190 on Cole Caulfield. He has 4 goals, 2 assists, and a plus minus of +2 in 4 games versus the Flyers. So I do think he's going to be impactful in this one. I'd look at him for that anytime goal at +190. Now, 5-on-5 numbers. The Montreal Canadiens have actually been really strong, limiting those opponents to being able to not get those goals on the board. They've got a 5-on-5 hockey. They've got a number of 2.31 goals allowed. So I do think the Flyers team total just looks so solid in this one. I do think they're going to get the shots. So this is one thing Montreal does allow, those shots to come in. Owen Tippett here from the Philadelphia Flyers. You look at him, how he's done as of late. You can take him 4+ shots on goal in this one at -108. He had 3 only versus the Pens, but he did have 4 versus Calgary and 7 versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. So in his last 3 games, definitely going over this, except for in that one game versus the Pens. So I like him here in this one. Vegas and Colorado, the only way I could go as well to that under. Kelly, appreciate you for being here. And Doug, you as well. Everyone that is here. It is great to see you guys. So let's look at the next one here. We have the Minnesota Wild versus the Dallas Stars. And no, this is not deja vu. These teams just did play on Monday. And on Monday, the Dallas Stars really wiped the floor with the Minnesota Wild, being able to get that 4-0 win. Now, we got to look at some numbers here and how fantastic the goaltending was for the Dallas Stars. This is a battle of the Central, like you guys know. So we're not even going to consider any look-ahead situations because these two teams want to beat each other here. The Minnesota Wild sitting 7th in the Central and the Dallas Stars sitting 3rd. Now, we do have a goalie making his rookie or his NHL debut here. Jasper Wallstedt is confirmed in net for the Minnesota Wild. Now, in the AHL, he was with Iowa. He had 11-9 record with a 2.54 goals against average, a save percentage of .917. So really solid numbers in the AHL. Stepping up to the NHL, huge difference here. And I know we had Matt Murray come out in the last game for the Dallas Stars, making his first appearance of the year. He was so solid recording that shutout. Can this goalie here for the Minnesota Wild do the same? I just don't think so. I think the Dallas Stars are too deep of a team, and I think they're going to really hit him hard in this one. Now, the problem with this game is you got Scott Wedgwood coming into net. He's being hit or miss this season for the Dallas Stars. He's got a 3.17 goals against average, a save percentage of .894. The Dallas Stars, though, I think are the right side, but we've got to find value. So current odds on this one, +160 for the Wild, -194 for the Dallas Stars, total 6.5. Now 6.5 juiced to the under at -128, +104 to that over. If you think the Wild can keep this close, +1.5 on that puck line is -154 to juice there. The Dallas Stars to get a blowout win like they did in the last one. Laying the 1.5 is coming in at +128. I would take the Dallas Stars on that puck line before I did the Minnesota Wild. I just think this team is the stronger. Let's look at what we saw in the last game. So in the last game, Marc-Andre Fleury was in net for the Minnesota Wild. He stopped 16 of 20 shots on net. So the Wild's defense did a really good job of limiting the ability of the Stars to get those shots. So they only allowed 20. Marc-Andre Fleury allowed 4 of those to go in. When we look here at Matt Murray, he stopped 23 of 23 shots. So both of these teams really locking down defensively in that matchup, being able to hold those opponents to limited shots on net. Because when you look at what these teams are averaging, the Wild averaging 30.1 and the Dallas Stars averaging 30.3 shots on goal per game. So we're seeing strong performances out of the defense when they face up against each other. Defensively, normally these teams, the Wild are allowing 30 shots on goal, and the Dallas Stars allowing that 29.8. So I do think this is another game where these defenses absolutely have to show up. They've had a day off in between these games. Huge difference here, though, when you look at what happened on the power play in that last game. The Minnesota Wild actually had 6 power play opportunities, unable to score on those opportunities. And the Dallas Stars did have 3. They were able to convert 1 power play goal. Now, when we look at the face-off battle as well, the Wild fell apart in that face-off battle with the Stars. The Stars were able to win 64.6% of those face-offs. I just think this is such a game where you got to look at Dallas to win again. That sudden revenge factor, I'm not buying into the Wild being able to do it. They've lost their last 5 games as an underdog as well, and they haven't covered the puck line in their last 4 games. I do think the Stars puck line, solid bet. I'm going to look at the first period, though. I love the Dallas Stars on the puck line in the first period, laying the half a goal. That's coming in at plus 138. They have won the last 4 first periods versus the Minnesota Wild in those matchups. I also think you look at their team total over 3.5. That's coming in at minus 112. I like where we're going with that bet. Yeah, I think it's going to be solid. You look here at the amount of goals the Dallas Stars are able to get on their home ice, and now they're facing a goalie making his NHL debut. It can go either way for these goalies, but I don't see it going good behind the defense here of the Wild. And yes, the Wild's defense stepped up in the last one, but I do think he's going to be hit by the Dallas Stars. There's just so much talent there. And I'm looking at Jason Robertson for the anytime goal for the Dallas Stars. It's coming in at plus 160. When we look at him, he had a goal in the last game on a Monday, 3 shots on goal in that as well. And the time prior versus the Minnesota Wild, he did have 2 goals and 5 shots on net. So I think it's a good one. We can move on to the next game. Just seeing your comments come in here. Late to the party. It's okay. You could be late to the party. You're going to take Dallas 5-2. I really do think it could go over if the Dallas Stars really nail this goalie hard. It could be, 3 goals for the Dallas Stars in the first period. We'll see how he comes out. It's always hard for sure. New Swedish goalie. I will see how he comes out. I just don't know how he's going to come out against the Dallas Stars, who can score at home at will, it seems like. I'm just not buying into it. Let's look at the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Colorado Avalanche. People are saying this is going to be the best game of the night, and I hope it's the best game because these two teams lock down defensively and goaltending-wise. I hope those shots are still coming in, and it's exciting, but I really do think this has to be a lower scoring one. The under 6.5, I know you guys have already been throwing that out. That's coming in at minus 120. If you believe in the Vegas Golden Knights here on the road, they're plus 125 and minus 150 for the Colorado Avalanche. Firstly, I can tell you there's no way I'm taking Colorado at minus 150. I just don't see it. Being enough value for me, this should be a dead straight pick 'em, in my opinion. I love this game to the under. I also love this game to finish 3-2. I do think there's an opportunity for either team to win it in overtime. This be 2-2, go to overtime. So when we look at the overtime, plus 370. If Vegas wins 3-2, that's plus 1,400. And if the Avs win 3-2, that's plus 1,200. I put a little bit of money on both of those. I am leaning on Vegas to get the win because of the plus money we're getting in this one. I also, you guys know, as soon as I'm leaning towards an under, I'm looking at that first period for these two teams to come out so strong defensively. And yes, their goalies could be hit early, and then we could go scoreless in the second period and then see those late goals in the third. But I do think the goaltending here absolutely needs to stand on their head from the get-go. The under 1.5 in the first period coming in at plus 102. Vegas has lost their last 4 games as an underdog. This is a one-off road game, so this is not the best scheduling spot for them. First night of a back-to-back with the Bruins on deck tomorrow at home. I think tomorrow will be a hard game versus the Bruins. I'd look at Vegas in the first period is my first gut instinct on that one. But there's a road trip on deck here for Colorado. It's a 5-game road trip starting off with the Leafs on, I believe it's Saturday. Then they have Montreal, the Sens, the Bruins, and the Flyers. So they've got a big road trip ahead of them. They are going to be circling this game. Now, the last time these teams played back in November, well, the Vegas Golden Knights got a 7-0 win. Mark Stone had 2 goals and 2 assists, 5 shots on goal. He was absolutely phenomenal. Jack Eichel, 2 goals, 4 shots on goal, and William Karlsson had 2 goals and 2 shots on goal. Now he is on the injury reserve, lower body. I don't know if he'll be back tonight. I was trying to find reports if William Karlsson was back in the lineup, really hoping he would be. Unsure though. Okay. The last game these two teams played, you look at those shots on goal. And this is why, even though I like the under, I'm taking some goalie save numbers over, save props over. You look at Adin Hill the last time he faced the Colorado Avalanche in that 7-0 win, he saved 41 shots on goal. Adin Hill has a 1.93 goals against average, a 0.933 save percentage. His over-under on save shots on goal tonight, 27.5. Definitely taking that to the over. It's -108. Georgiev here has had his struggles, but I do think he absolutely will bring his A game tonight. He's got a 2.97 goals against average, a save percentage of 0.893. His number coming in only at 25.5, -108 to the over. You look at the Vegas Golden Knights, they're averaging 32.2 shots on goal per game. The last time these teams played, Georgiev allowed 7 goals on 34 shots on a net. He saved 27. So this number, 25.5, it's just too low. I think both of the goaltenders go over their numbers. This is going to be an exciting one, you guys. Sprinkle a little bit on OT. If you feel confident in that exact score, either way, 3-2, put a little sprinkle on it. I do lean Vegas for the full game. My favorite prop bets of this game are those prop bets for both goaltenders. So Adin Hill over 27.5 save shots on goal, and Georgiev over 25.5 save shots on goal. First period under 1.5 at +102. That's what I'm liking, you guys. So let's make some freaking money. JP thinking the Avs get it done 3-1. That would be a great exact score as well. We could see that empty netter come into play, and that one wouldn't go to overtime. Predictions either way, 3-2 overtime Knights win, or 4-2 with the Avs win. Favorite play of the night. Let's go. Let's get this money, you guys. Flyer Stars Avs home team night. Be crazy to see all the home teams win. That is for sure. The team total, I'm not sure if I can take any of these team totals in this one, just because I really do think 3-2 style game. But Hope Hill is ready. Yeah, Hill's been on and off. Hasn't been on the ice for a while. So we'll see. I do think he's ready. And I love taking a goalie that people kind of are doubting in this one. So Colorado hasn't impressed me very much as of late. Either has Vegas. You know, we look at both of these teams. They haven't been living up to the hype. But you look at Colorado, the losses they've taken, I guess, speak more than the wins they've had. Now, the Boston Bruins, they got the shootout win in their last game. It was a 4-3 win. They're sitting 7-2-1 in their last 10. But I tell you, when you start thinking about this team, you think about those losses that they faced. And the Vegas Golden Knights, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They are off the win versus the Islanders on Saturday. That was a 5-2 win. I'm looking for this team to really shift and get back in the winning circle. So you guys, that's it. I wish you all the best in all of your bets. I will be back here tomorrow, same time, 5:30 Eastern. So make sure you join me. Appreciate each and every one of you. It's Wednesday. Let's make some freaking money on this beautiful Wednesday. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.